Different types of non-probability sampling. Non-probability sampling is a method where not all individuals in the population have an equal chance of being selected for the study. This type of sampling is commonly used in exploratory research, qualitative studies, and situations where random sampling is impractical or unnecessary. While non-probability sampling can lead to valuable insights, it is less representative of the larger population, and findings cannot be confidently generalized. Below are the primary types of non-probability sampling, each with its advantages, challenges, and examples. 1. Convenience sampling. Description: convenience sampling, also known as haphazard or accidental sampling, involves selecting participants who are easiest to access. Researchers simply choose individuals who are available at a specific time or location. This approach is often used for preliminary research and pilot studies due to its speed and simplicity. Example: a psychology researcher might conduct a quick survey by interviewing students at the campus library. The researcher uses those who are nearby and available rather than attempting to reach a representative sample of all students. Advantages: time and cost-effective. Convenience sampling requires minimal resources as the researcher does not need to seek out specific individuals. Easily implemented, this method is straightforward and does not require complex planning. Useful for exploratory research, convenience sampling can yield insights quickly, which is helpful in initial stages of research where deep understanding is not yet required. Challenges: high potential for bias. The sample may not accurately represent the broader population, leading to biased findings. Limited generalizability. Results from convenience samples are not typically generalizable beyond the sample itself. Potential lack of diversity. People available at one location may share certain characteristics, which limits the diversity of the sample. 2. Purposive, judgmental sampling. Description: in purposive sampling, researchers select participants based on specific characteristics or expertise relevant to the study's objectives. This approach is common in qualitative research where researchers seek in-depth understanding from a particular subgroup. Example: a study investigating the challenges faced by new immigrant entrepreneurs might intentionally select participants who have recently started businesses. These individuals are selected for their experience, as their insights are most relevant to the study's focus. Advantages: focused and relevant data. By selecting participants with specific traits or experiences, researchers can gain highly relevant and in-depth insights. Effective for qualitative research. This method allows for a deep dive into a specialized area and is effective in gathering nuanced understanding. Flexible and adaptive. Researchers can adjust participant selection based on emerging themes during the study. Challenges: subjectivity and bias. The researcher's criteria for selection can introduce bias, affecting the objectivity of the study. Limited generalizability. Due to the non-random nature of the sample, findings cannot be broadly applied to the entire population. Resource-intensive. Purposive sampling can require extensive knowledge of the population to identify suitable participants. 3. Snowball sampling. Description: snowball sampling is a method where existing participants refer other potential participants, often creating a chain of referrals. This method is useful for reaching hidden or hard-to-reach populations, such as marginalized groups or people with rare characteristics. Example: a researcher studying the experiences of people with rare medical conditions may ask initial participants to refer others who share this condition. Through this network, the researcher gradually builds a larger sample from an otherwise difficult-to-access population. Advantages: effective for hard-to-reach populations. Snowball sampling is particularly useful for studies involving individuals who are difficult to locate, such as specific cultural communities. Cost and time efficiency. In certain contexts, leveraging participant social networks reduces the researcher's need to search for new participants. Builds trust. Referrals from existing participants may encourage trust among new participants who may otherwise hesitate to engage in the study. Challenges: risk of homogeneity. Participants may refer people who share similar characteristics, limiting diversity in the sample. Potential for bias. reliance on referrals can lead to samples that are not representative of the broader population. Difficulty in controlling sample size. As referrals continue, the sample may grow unpredictably, complicating analysis. 4. Quota sampling. Description. In quota sampling, researchers divide the population into categories, quotas, based on certain characteristics, e.g., gender, age, income. Participants are then selected until each category meets a preset quota, ensuring some diversity but without random selection within groups. Example: if a researcher wants to understand opinions on social media use across different age groups, they may set quotas for participants in the 18 to 24, 25 to 34, and 35 to 44 age ranges. The researcher continues sampling each group until they reach the desired number for each category. Advantages. Ensures representation of key subgroups. By setting quotas, researchers can ensure diversity within the sample on certain criteria, even if it is not randomly selected. Relatively time efficient. Quota sampling can be conducted more quickly than stratified random sampling as there is no randomization step. Cost effective. Quota sampling does not require extensive lists or complex randomization tools, making it less costly. Challenges. Subject to researcher bias. The selection within each quota may introduce bias as it depends on the researcher's discretion. Less precision in representing the population. Because there is no random selection within each quota, the sample may not accurately reflect the population. Challenges in setting accurate quotas. Deciding on quota categories and sizes requires prior knowledge of the population, which may be inaccurate. Conclusion. Non-probability sampling methods offer flexibility and practicality, especially in exploratory research or when the population is difficult to access. However, each method comes with its own set of advantages and challenges, particularly in terms of generalizability and bias. Researchers should carefully consider the strengths and limitations of each non-probability sampling technique to choose the approach best suited to their study objectives and resource constraints.